All right, welcome into the Noll Road. We are going live for halftime and the second half as Steelers and Texans slug it out at Acrisure Stadium. I'm Gavin Dawson. He is New Bear Lesniewski at 7-6 Houston here as they go to half. And we're going to talk about it here and set you up for the final 30 minutes of football for the right to go to Buffalo. Here we go.
Then to the corner of the end zone. For a touchdown!
All righty, and welcome in, Steelers fans. This is our maiden voyage live here with these watch-alongs. I've never done one of these in all of my years of sports broadcasting, so it is a pleasure to welcome in as we take this next chapter on the Noll Road. New Bear, 7-6, all things considered. I'm going to take this. I don't mind where we're at right now.
Well, first of all, with Roethlisberger joining the Manning cast in the second half, you know he's the best. He's got 7 on his chest. They're lucky it's 7-6, and I got to correct you on one thing, right? Don't they go to the House of Horrors? They win this game, they're going to New England because Buffalo's going to Denver. I'm just making sure I'm not losing my mind because I've been screaming at the TV with you in here while we were waiting for this thing to kick in. And holy cow, for a 7-6 game, I mean, you look up and you go, it's 7-6, pretty boring, right? Not at all. I mean, there have been so many potentially game-changing plays already.
Yes, there have, and we're going to take a look at those big plays. If you like Steelers content, we go live 4 times a week. We're going to take you through free agency and the draft and OTAs and all the way back to Latrobe in the summer. So just lock in with us at the Noll Road on Twitter and on YouTube. Man, the Steelers came out firing. You know, the run from Warren, the 2 throws to DK Metcalf, you almost had them on a third, but then since then it has almost totally stopped. Their third down efficiency is basically non-existent, and you get 2 takeaways and only end up with 1 field goal out of those 2. They had a decent drive into field goal range with the other one, but I mean, as good as things are right now, I thought there was a chance when we were watching the first 10 minutes or so of this game that they could have a significant lead here at halftime.
Well, you were talking about the third down being non-existent. I mean, it's tough when you're looking at your offer because it's 9 yards to go. You were looking up at one of them. You were like, "Oh, go Kenny G," and I'm like, "Dude, it's 3rd and 21." Like it's a rough first half after that. What looked like a pretty hot first start. I mean, DK looked like he was just rip roaring and ready to go. Looks like he's been doing some bicep curls and fresh. And then all of a sudden, he's dropping wide open corner routes and whiffing on blocks that the effort would have been bad in the preseason on the little toss to our little guy, Kenny G, right? So it's interesting because I'm watching right now. You know, I got the Manning cast up. I got the regular cast up. And it's bone crunching. I mean, It is balls hung up or ball bouncing, bad snap. Like it is all over the place right now. I mean, both teams right now feel like going into the halftime, they should be winning this game, should be controlling this game, are a play away from blowing the doors off and advance into the next round.
Yeah, the Texans should feel like they should be winning, and they are, but they probably feel like they should be winning by a lot more. 11-6 first down, 7 out of 9 on third down efficiency for the Houston Texans right now. They have literally twice as many yards, the 5.2 yards per play compared to 3.9 for the Steelers. The Steelers' run game has ground to a halt now, 8 attempts for 24 yards. So things are going, at least in the counting numbers, big time Houston's way. But the 2 takeaways, and if they're going to have success, if the Steelers are going to have success in the second half, New Bear, I think this is going to have to continue. And I hate to say that, but, after watching, per play domination, the way that Houston has here for the first 30 minutes of this game, I don't know. I will say it looked like the Steelers at times had a pretty good game plan, but you're not going to get ahead throwing toss sweeps and throwing into the flats against this Texans defense. You need to throw it to the middle of the field, and you need to get it between levels, or I think you're heading for a lot more 3rd and longs.
Well, and more than that, you're going to be looking up at short end of a long scoreboard. If Stroud's sitting there at 13 out of 20 for 118 and 1, I mean, he really should be 15 or 16 out of 20 for about $170. And if not two, then it was a foot race to the pylon when he missed Nico on that rollout. And look, I mean, Cam saved the day late after, Sawyer saved it early, where, Higgins was looked like he was going to be gone on the flea flicker. And, you talked about Pittsburgh coming out firing. I mean, Houston is absolutely doing the same damn thing. And unlike Pittsburgh, where, their run game is ground to a halt, I thought after the first bad snap, it really looked like Chubb in particular, who I believe is the all-time leading running back active against the Steelers, thanks to his success in the land. It really looked like he settled or was going to settle 7 down, and it just didn't happen. I mean, CJ Stroud is a beat off, and if you're going in right now, I think you saw D'Amico Ryans at one point when the cameras caught him, he was like, man, what are we doing? So, they feel like if they correct some things that they're going to be in a really good place 30 minutes from now.
All righty. Let me ask you about a key decision. Going forward on 4th down, it was picked up by Thielen there. It did stall out. I guess 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, I don't mind that call. But considering how difficult it's been to grind out short yardage for this Steelers team, I would prefer you just take field goals in these situations for the rest of this game. I think you got to take points when you can get them against these elite defenses.
I want to go back to what has to be a bust on the one Rodgers threw away where Frazier gets caught moseying downfield, where, I mean, what the hell was Jonnu doing or not doing? What was going on the front side? Rodgers' first read, Jonnu was looking over his shoulder like me and you trying to hide from one of our kids. Like, he didn't even look like he was running a real route. So it just, something was off. And, you said it as we were talking about it. You didn't like that play because you still got to go run. You got 4 downs to go a handful of yards against the number 2 defense in the league. What does that look like? And what didn't we see? We didn't see the 50-50 ball to number 4. We didn't see Freiermuth, in between 2 dudes trying to put one up where only 6'6" can go get it. And I don't know. I feel like the Steelers right now, beyond the traditional, as we've come to know it over these past 18 weeks, check downs, which sometimes look like they could be screens and sometimes look like they're just check downs. But then you go, well, man, if the wide receiver would actually block, just run the screen. Just make Kenny Gainwell Marshall Faulk 2.0 and then run the rail on a little pump and go. They're being too cute and they're being too careful. And to your point, for a team that is notorious for running so much shell or morphing into that post snap, there's been a couple of times where Calvin Austin's come free middle of the field and Rodgers just hasn't pulled the trigger. He's going to have to do that.
Okay, we got 4 minutes and 15 seconds until kickoff of the second half. It is a Steelers watch along here on the Noll Road. Please, if you share this in any way, whether it's on Twitter or YouTube, we'll buy you a beer at the draft party, no doubt about that. You want to come on over to YouTube and sub or go over to Twitter and follow. We would love you for that as well. DK Metcalf, a couple of nice catches. Let me look at the box score here just to give you his precise numbers. But he did have the drop and he did have the missed block. I think if you're looking to make a thunderous return, 2 catches for 42 yards, as exciting as those were, I need a little bit more from DK Metcalf here in the second half. How about you?
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, JPJ was running with Nico. He did have some safety help at times. What does this look like? It's scripted in the first half. You often see people talk about, who's your favorite quarterback? Josh Allen? He's better in the second half. Who else you want to go down this list? Why? It's unscripted. And with guys, Rodgers looks spry. He looks like he woke up on the right side of the bed tonight. He's moving around on some of the boots and, some of the pressure stuff you can't worry about. You got these 2 bookends. One's all pro, one probably should have been right alongside him, and at the very least should be going to the Pro Bowl. And they're going to get you. They're going to eat, and they're going to make it hard from time to time. But when they have moved the pocket, Rodgers looks like he's moving just fine. And you can take advantage of some of that stuff. You get DK on a double move. You even get DK, on a comeback, right, where he looks like he's running a 7-8-9, and then you bring him right back and you come down the stem, which is something that Rodgers has always liked.
Hey, we got to see the Steelers do a better job stopping the run here in this second half to believe. Houston had really struggled to run the football this year, under 4 yards per attempt on the season. 3.6 over the last 3 weeks, but they get right with 16 totes for 86 yards, an average of 5.4 in that first half. I do want a tip of the cap to Chuck Clark for the big hit on Jalen Noll. Cam Hayward had great pressure on a play, about 24 seconds to go, and then Stroud missed Nico Collins as well. But there were a number of plays there at the end of the half that if the Steelers do end up winning, you're going to be like game ball for Clark on that one, and hopefully he's okay. You know, it looked like he just got shook up when he got back to the sideline.
Yeah, when knocked out of you, those midair collisions are tough, and they're often as tough on the dude who's laying the wood as the dude who's, you know, the nail to the hammer in this case from Chucky Clark. And it's good to see him out there delivering those hits. It also makes you wonder, you know, you've joked at times about how, you know, you appreciate the work that he does, the effort that he gives, but, you know, at the same time, you question why he's out there so damn much. I mean, he's part of the problem and the reason why, you know, some of these routes are coming open. And what's going to be really interesting is early, it looked like Pierre and Ramsey were having a hard time right before the snap a couple of times. And, you know, all it takes is that one little heartbeat for someone to get you and go deep.
Indeed. Okay, we're coming up on just a minute plus until kickoff here. The Noll Road, Dawson and New Bear. If you want to sync up with us and watch the game along with us in the second half, that'd be great. We'll be doing play-by-play. If you're out and about and you can't get a feed to the game itself, we'll keep you up to speed as good as anything. Anything else that surprised you from there from that first half, New Bear?
I just am a little bit, I don't want to say I'm shocked because, you know, pressure is pressure. Playoffs are different. And pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong for CJ early. But I was really surprised at how long, I mean, really for most of the rest of the first half, it took him to get right. He does not look comfortable, and he looks like he's thinking. And when, you know, you think you hurt the team. And when you have things go wrong, we talk about momentum-based conversations all the time. You know, when you are not playing in rhythm, and you're not just, it's not that he's looking down at the rush. It's that he's almost assuming or thinking like what could go wrong. And maybe I need to wait an extra beat, or maybe I need to make extra sure right now versus cutting it loose. And it'll be really interesting to see if he's able to connect with Nico and on some of these other deep shots that they're going to take. Because when you come out and run Tecmo Bowl flea flickers, even if it goes wrong, that means you got something else in the basket for the second half.
No doubt. All righty. What a beautiful view of Pittsburgh coming in as the Texans lead the Steelers 7-6 here at the start of the third quarter here on the Noll Road. Salute to TJ Watt and Y.A. Black there. First half big plays with the fumble recoveries. It's amazing how often TJ Watt is in the right position just to get those deflections or those bat downs. It's just like he's got some spidey sense about him. Salute to Keanu Benton, who's been playing well the second half of the season, and Jack Sawyer as well, with those sacks that contributed to those plays here. And we'll see if they need more of that in the second half. Hopefully they can start running the ball and stopping the run, baby. It's January. It is time to do that. As Boswell is on, as Houston won the coin toss and deferred. The kick is going to be short of the goal line. He's going to take it out for the 6 and go down the left side up to about the 26-yard line here to start this first half of the first drive of the second half for Houston.
It looks like the camera guys are late coming out of halftime too. Everybody's off a beat right now on the stream.
Yeah, it is cool how Tomlin stays calm through these big moments. I guess that's what 19 seasons on the job gets you. But watching some of these other coaches from Wild Card Weekend lose their absolute crap, like Tomlin is the beacon, I think, in storms like this. It's one of the best things he does.
1 in 10. You don't like that graphic that was up against the head ball coach, but to your point, Kurt Signetti, who's all the rage right now, was viral this week. Ahead of the college championship where everyone thinks he's just mad all the time. And he said, well, what good does it do if I celebrate positive or negative? Because then the players react to that. He celebrates with the coaches, and then they give their feedback to the team, and then they go do the damn thing. Like, his big thing is, how can I ask you to go be the same player 150 times in a row and forget the last play, next play, next play, next play, if I'm not doing the same thing because I'm caught up in the moment? And, Tomlin has pretty much always been like that, where you see emotion out of Tomlin is celebrating at the end when he's blowing.
Okay, 1st and 10 went for 11 yards to Higgins. Now it is a first down from the 39-yard line. There is a run up the middle for 15 yards, as this is not a good start to the second half. Marks goes for 15 yards right as I was talking about getting this run defense figured out.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it, early. The thing that seemed like it was going to settle Stroud down was Chubb, and if you get Marks going with a nice 1-2 punch.
All righty, so we're at midfield already, as Steelers defense needs to, show us that they have some competence, some ability to make the adjustment here at the Steelers 45-yard line. CJ Stroud will come under center. 1st and 10. It's going to be play action. Going over the middle once again to 81, and that's another first down. What is this, 3 first downs to open up the half?
Yeah, and this is why that run game is so important, because it's not just token play action. You actually have to respect it. And you're putting Harrison in a bind. I mean, he's not a drop guy as it is, but if you're making him come forward, pause, guess, you're asking for trouble in the space behind him. I mean, Duggar's got to come up, and Ramsey's been making shoestring saving tackles, all throughout the first half, all throughout the season, really. And
okay, we got Cam Hayward down. We got Cam Hayward down. They are going to. Man, I wasn't ready for this. The Steelers' run defense has improved significantly in the second half of the season. What was the stat we had a couple of episodes ago about are they number 1 in the NFL at red zone rushing touchdowns allowed? But Houston's opening this thing up and getting whatever they want right now.
Well, and we had the show early in the week about Derek Harmon. Buck stops here was a little double entendre. Buck meaning 100, Buck meaning, they're already at 100 yards. I mean, you look up and it's 100-24 after that last run by Woody Marks.
Okay, so I'm trying to find something on Twitter right now.
Yeah, that was a quick cut. Hopefully he's either just running right off the field and they have to take him out, and it's not the other way around. You don't want to speculate, when the camera cuts away like that, but that quick out of the second half gives you pause for sure. Sitting here looking, checking the math about, they're at
Brooke
6.
Pryor has him off under his own power.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Brooke Pryor, ESPN, Texas offense has the Steelers D on its heels. Okay. So that's a good sign.
They're at 6 yards a carry, 5.9. That run by Woody Marks puts him at 73 on 12. That's 6.1. And, Chubb had 23 on 4. So, I mean, they're at 17 for 100 on the nose.
Okay, Amanda Godsey says he's walking gingerly to the sideline after the last play. Gets up on his own power, says Christopher Carter. Defense getting gashed to open up the second half.
You were hard on Keanu Benton early, and then you praised him as he stepped up, particularly, in the nickel and the pass rush late. Be interesting to see if this becomes, you're talking about Black, Harmon, Benton. Well, he looks like he's moving around all right.
Okay, yeah, now I'm back too. Yeah. He's just kind of walking around and kicking his left toe into the ground, maybe to test what the shock does to whatever part of his body is hurt, maybe a little tweak knee or tweak ankle, something like that. Okay, so it's another first down for Houston here. 13-16 to go, third quarter. Houston leading 7-6 at Acrisure, wild card round. And there is another give to Marks. He's going up the middle for 9.5 yards. Ramsey got him just short. What's that?
Ramsey's pissed. He's looking around barking at folks like someone is not doing what they're supposed to. And, Cam Hayward goes out. What do? You got to test the backup. You got to run right at him. And there Keanu Benton, he tries to go around the block versus pushing through it.
Yeah, Ben's just not strong enough. I wish YA Black was ready to play nose tackle consistently. All right, here we go. It's 2nd and 1. Little motion for Houston. Right back up the middle to Marks. He's going to get a yard and a half out of that. Good for a first down.
Queen's getting chippy.
There we go.
We need 6.
I mean, is it time to choose the hill that you die on like they had to do against Baltimore? Get 5 guys up there, stack the box.
I don't know if you trust that with the matchups that you have, particularly with the speed and the young legs, on the outside. But what you can't do is have Malik Harrison in there and expect him to zone drop. You got to send him to either stop the run or get home on Stroud.
1st and 10 now at the Steelers 20. They're going to hand it off right side. Marks is going to get 5-6 yards or so.
Yeah, and see, that's nice too, because you test the middle and they step up a little bit. So now let's stretch them outside, keep them moving, protect CJ from himself right now and keep that play action threat really, really high.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just positive yardage after positive yardage here. 6 plays, 59 yards, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And right now, it doesn't look like anything's going to stop Houston from taking a 14-6 lead here.
Yeah,
pass outright to.
And this is part of what I'm talking about is you get another 4-yard run on first down. You come out 2nd and 6 in the gun. I mean, you're basically showing pass. You throw a little shoot to the sideline. Like, I would have liked to have seen them stay under center and really test the eye discipline and the coverage discipline. The 2nd and 3rd levels right there. Houston needs to not be cute right now when you're dictating to the other team, what this game is all about.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I need a big screen television right now. Cam Hayward is back in the game here on a big 3rd and 4 here from the Steelers 14-yard line. Stroud and gun. He's back to pass. He's looking over the middle. He's now scrambling, and he somehow gets that ball off. It's intercepted. Brandon Eccles with another pick. Steelers ball. They'll take over at about their 10-yard line. And
I was concerned. You get Cam and Black was right next to him, and you go, it's 3rd and – I mean, do they think they're going to try to run this or maybe run it on 3rd down or run it again on 4th down? And that pressure almost not getting home and kind of making CJ hold the ball. He is rattled right now. The 7 is really in his own head.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he has gone back and forth. If he is protected, he has been fantastic, but when under pressure so far 3 times, maybe 4 times, 3 out of those 4. So a big negative play has happened for the Houston Texans. So this is exactly what I was talking about, New Bear, the kind of game we were going to need to see. I was thinking this would be the only way you could withstand Houston, and at least for the first drive of the second half, it's held up. That's huge right there. That's taken 7 or 3 points off the board.
3 for sure. And that's the thing about, 2nd and 6, you're in the gun. 3rd and 4, you're in the gun. You run it twice, worst case scenario, you're going up 10-6. Whereas now Pittsburgh has all the momentum and, we're having a real conversation about what's going on with CJ Stroud. That ball was late. It was low. It was inside. It was like everything about that play was bad from CJ Stroud.
Yeah. And not only, I mean, he really had a technique and form breakdown. It's almost like he was turning his back to the player as he was trying to throw that ball. Now that I see the replays popping up on Twitter, like that was a really weird play from CJ Stroud. And you could say right now that his lack of poise under pressure is keeping the Steelers in this thing.
Well, and we've talked about how CJ Stroud isn't necessarily a great runner, but he's a willing one when the situation calls for it. When you're composed and you are in control, if you don't get what you expect and or you don't get what you like, put your head down and go get it yourself. He's more than capable of doing that, and there was room for him to make that decision and be authoritative with it. He is in between right now, which as a quarterback in this environment is the worst place to be.
All right, it is the Noll Road here with Dawson and New Bear. We go long form 4 times a week. If you'd like to subscribe, check us out. That would be amazing. I'm going to try to get this this feed retweeted here, buddy. Oh, man, we're getting a lot of comments. Look at this over here on live. That is awesome. Salute to Zen Master. Yeah, we're in Stroud's head, he says. He keeps losing the ball. Salute to you, Zen Master. Thanks for checking in with us. We got DC Danny Boy. Here we go. We got Sandra. Why isn't our rushers getting home? Thought their line was weak. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job. The thing with sacks is it creates punts. The thing with pressure is it can create turnovers. And right now, I'll take the pressure of the turnovers.
Love that low angle view.
Can you tweet a link to YouTube on the Noll Road account? Could you do that so I could then retweet it from
Yep, no
Dawson so we can get more people in here? Hit the like button. That's one of our best ways of getting distribution. But we are back on television, and yeah, one of the weirdest pieces of footwork and body shape leading to that interception. Here's Aaron Rodgers handing it off on first down. Didn't get a look at the number, but it's going to be a successful run for about 5 or 6 yards to Jaylen Warren with the little inside zone. This is what we need to see now. We need to see the Steelers come back with an answer like Houston did at the start of the second quarter. They started running the football, and since then, it has really been only the takeaways that have prevented Houston from building a multi-score lead. Now we need to see Pittsburgh say, hey, we made some adjustments at halftime, and we're going to be able to advance the ball on the ground. 2nd and 3 here for the Steelers, down 7-6, 9:50 to go in the third quarter. It's going to be another run up the middle to Warren, and it's going to be interesting where they spot that one. I can't tell.
We're gonna have to have a real conversation about where the hell Jonnu Smith's head's at. Like, what is going on with this guy? He's running fake routes on goal line plays. He talk about dudes not being locked in and being composed. I'm not saying he's as bad as Stroud right now, but someone needs to have a talk with 81.
First down, Skoronek's in motion. It looked like they got some sort of a false start. Oh, Jonnu just had a false start, dude. Just as you're complaining about him. There's so much weirdness going on with Jonnu Smith. It's just not meant to be. He's a damn good player. I think he's totally disengaged because he's just misused, and players get frustrated. What do you think about that?
Yep, I apologize. I'll be right back to you. I'm having an issue with Twitter and getting the
all good. Yeah, DK has not gotten a pass thrown at him. They were just talking about on the telecast since that drop. We need to get him back involved as well. 1st and 15. There's a little wide receiver screen out to is that Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson? Jesus, they lost another 2 or 3 yards on that. They're going backwards again. Yeah, that is Calvin Austin. Is that a missed block by Valdez-Scantling? Yeah, missed block by Valdez-Scantling. Come on, man. It is such an advantage when you can get your wide receivers to block. It is embarrassing, some of these. 2nd and 15 here. Is it 2nd and 15 or is it 3rd and 15?
Well, I tell you what, something happened with the app, so I'm going to reset.
Okay. Complete to Calvin Austin, just across the 15-yard line. So this should be 3rd and somewhat manageable. Although, what was the stat that I had on Houston? 3rd and long. Oh, they blitz 30% of the time on 3rd and long. They rank 32nd in blitz rate and simulated pressure, though. This defense is so good, dude. They just line up and stay in position and say, we're better players than you, and we're going to smother you. And it's getting the job done. 3rd and 9 here. They're showing blitz. Simulated. They're going to go up the middle, and they got Valdez-Scantling for 15 yards.
Yeah, so this is really neat in terms of I think I might be half a play ahead of you, and the Valdez-Scantling thing, the route combination on that, everyone's expecting Freiermuth right in between the hash, but what you get is MVS breaking in off that. So nice little call by Artie.
Okay, so you're ahead of me now?
Well,
have you seen this first down play yet?
Gainwell.
29-yard line. Handoff to Gainwell. He's looking for a spot, but he's going to lose a yard. Actually did a decent job fighting back to the line of scrimmage. I'm going to get out and reset this feed so we can try to get synced up.
Yeah, so I'm at 2nd and 12 with Rodgers in the gun, empty, little no-step, pump fake, under pressure. He voids it, and he's going to throw on the run, but incomplete into the sideline. wow, you talk about avoiding disaster from the wily veteran. These Texans will hunt, man. I mean, they are dangerous from both sides. And Fatanu just got put in the spin cycle.
Cook just got blown by. That's the nightmare. That's the nightmare.
That's literally having
second and long opportunities. Now we got third and long opportunities. Pass rushers are smelling blood. Rodgers back to pass. Line did a nice job this time, and they're going deep. They're going deep. Austin, no flag? Wow. They could have got a flag there. What do you think?
Yeah, this is why it's going to be a hard time to pay CA3. He's just so damn small. Lassiter's not a big – he'll hit you, but him running with you when you've got him beat, breathing on you, shouldn't make this, the reality. I mean, that's not much contact.
So the officiating expert is saying that's not a foul because their feet tangled. I thought it was pretty clear Austin was trying to come back to the ball, and he got like body or armed into losing his balance. But whatever. Yeah, it wasn't that egregious.
I think Steelers Nation wants that call on that play, but we would like to see the game officiated this way, where if that's not, he doesn't grab and tug. He's got a little. That shouldn't be enough.
No,
you want to be able to see DK Metcalf go fight through contact and maybe even give a little bit back to Lassiter, and I think that's what we're going to have to see is in the scheming up of the go balls as how do you turn 4 loose even if he's double teamed. If you're going to take that deep of that's a Dan Fouts drought. If you're going to do that and go straight back like Warren Moon back in the day and really run and shoot it and let it go, let it be 4 going up there and fight for it. He had his Wheaties today every day.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of the real downsides on having smaller wide receivers is you see A.J. Brown and George Pickens in those situations pass interfere offensively and get away with it 90% of the time.
Well, and Calvin Austin right there, is he coming back to the ball? Yeah, but what is he doing? He's leaning back into it, hoping to catch it in stride and score. The wily vets, the bigger body guys, they're going to make the corner have to play through them so that the ref has no doubt. I mean, when you leave it up to chance, and again, I'm wearing a Roethlisberger's, top 5 for me all time. I'm in year 11 in Pittsburgh. I love this place. I love this team. My rooting interests are biased AF, and you have to try to be objective. That's not pass interference.
No, it's not. I guess I was hoping for a fortunate call there from the refs. They've called less pass interference. I'll say that much, but not by much.
Yes.
Right, so, yeah.
Go ahead. Reset.
It's 5:33 to go in the third quarter. The AFC wildcard round. Dawson and Newbear here on the Noll Road. If you're watching on Twitter, thank you. Please like it. Leave a comment down below. Let's see if I can jump over here and see what the live chat has to say. Zen Master, please, Lord, let us score. Yeah, you're going to need a big play. Like, what's that? Like, at some point here, I like what they did on that last play, just trying to take a deep shot and create big-time offense, because I don't like their chances of moving the ball down the field. 4 or 5 first downs. Whew, I don't think I'd bet on the Steelers to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I love this, too, because you're at a point right now where you throw a pick 6, there might not be any coming back from that. So you start scrutinizing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Houston's going to come out. They have to come out under center running the ball, and Steelers have to have an inside bow your neck response to that.
No doubt. 1st and 10 here for Houston. 5.5 to go, third quarter. Get a little bit of motion, a little bit of play action. And it looks like going to pick up 6 yards to Hutch in there along that right sideline.
Yeah, and this is the thing, I missed Christian Kirk in the Sunday show because he's 5th in targets on this team. And, behind the 2 rookies, behind Nico, obviously, behind Dalton Schwartz. And that, yes, I'm saying that as per you, one of the great nicknames going back to when you had him in Dallas. But, like, this Christian Kirk showing up in the first half and taking some of the pressure off of everyone else, that's what they're doing right there with C.J. Stroud on that rollout is he's got one guy to throw to, and he doesn't have to think about it.
Okay. A run on second down, gain it just a couple of yards. What was it?
Yeah, look, is that a formation penalty on Houston?
Okay, so we'll re-rack second down here. Opportunity is developing here for the Steelers to get a stop. I mean,
Schultz moved toward the line of scrimmage. This is that new thing from the Shanahan, where they get Juszczyk going toward the line of scrimmage, and you got to talk about making the refs call it. It's that arena football cheat code, right? Where it's legal there. It ain't on Sunday National Football League, and they're really pressing the envelope. A lot of these H-backs and move guys, they got Schultz there.
Okay, 2nd and 10. Stroud back to pass. He's pressured again, and he's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if that's a sack for Derek Harmon. It will go down as a sack for Derek Harmon, so congratulations to him. Check out our library. We did a long-form show just a few days ago on the incredible hit of Derek Harmon, and it's really a great story. He, along with Joey Porter Jr., actually gives you a path to having Pro Bowlers that you've drafted in the last decade back on this Steelers team. It was desperately needed.
So is that Eccles again coming off the – I love all this slot pressure that they're bringing.
It's 3rd and 10 here.
I absolutely love it.
Throw out wide to Collins. Way overthrew him. Looked like Collins might have slipped. Glad there's no flag on the play, and the Texans are going to be
terrible ball. That ball's, even if Nico doesn't slip, I think that ball's out of bounds. Stroud is broken right now.
Yeah, so this is good. I mean, I guess you did get the one flag there, but is this the first time the Steelers have stopped the Texans since like the first quarter and made them punt, other than the turnovers?
Yeah, JPJ is in phase. Sorry, I was just staring down 24. We had another show this week talking about his rise and how tonight was the first statement of his 2026 All-Pro case. So far, it's looking so good. I mean, 12 had some catches early, but, I mean, if he's going to be able to play like that, it's going to be a long day, Houston Texans.
Okay, 14-yard return. Austin fielded it at the 10. He takes it up to the 24. They're going to commercial here on playoff Monday Night Football here at Acrisure. It's been a lot of fun so far, and we got a hopefully exciting fourth quarter yet to bring you. After this live broadcast, live watch along of the wild card round, we'll jump on and do a formal post game show for you. We do the Sunday show every Sunday where we give you all the big Steelers topics of the week, all condensed into one show. And we talk about the biggest topics in the regular season. That's usually a pretty big game preview and recap of the week that was with news. Obviously, here in the playoffs, it's very game centric. But once the season is over, hopefully after a trip out to Santa Clara, we'll be in massive free agent mode and draft mode and off-season workouts after that. But you know how the NFL is, man. This beast does not sleep, and it is incredible how compelling the off-season is, and we look forward to covering it all off-season. Hopefully it's Rodgers back. Hopefully it's Kenny Gainwell and Cam Hayward back as well. And we're talking about putting the finishing touches, if it doesn't result in a championship this year, maybe in 2026.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I can't get over how good Rodgers is moving. And when you start talking about looking forward and prognosticating and forecasting ahead, the only thing that would have taken me off of Aaron Rodgers in 2026 is if he just wore out down the stretch. If he came out tonight and looked like Father Time had won that battle and called game. And he certainly looks, I mean, no question about the arm, but him being able to move and for them being able to move the pocket, for him to reset, reload, and be able to basically do whatever he wants as long as he's kept clean, hard to say no to that. Hey, so what do you got in the chat? I can't see the chat. You control that.
I'm just seeing it over here on the YouTube live deal. I want to salute everybody that's been checking in with us throughout the evening. David Enlow, salute to you. He said Eccles needs to be benched. That was earlier in the show. Then he went out and got a pick. If you want to jump and interact on Twitter or YouTube, we can see the chats popping up right here. And we'll try to give you a shout out if you want it. We'll crack you a cold beer if you need it. Cold beer's coming up. You're down checking in on the stats. The Steelers have converted a third down. They're now 1 of 8. And they have stopped Houston on their last 2. So Houston 7 of 11 on third down now. The yards still going it's growing. It's even greater than a 2-to-1 ratio now. The yards per play hasn't come back in the Steelers' favor yet. We need but it is at least it's not getting worse. 3:41 to go in the third quarter. They're still very much in this game. And as long as they don't need a touchdown to win it late, as long as it's just a field goal, I'm going to keep the faith here, brother.
I mean, Boswell's the best in the game. You talk about Aubrey and some of these other guys, hitting.
Did we get enough holy water down, though?
That was one of the best memes of the week, spraying the whole – maybe that's why the field looks so bad. They sprayed the whole thing with it.
Okay, we're out here on first and 10 for the 24. Rodgers' little play action. He's throwing deep down the left, and he's got his guy, Adam Thielen.
That's vintage stuff right there.
21 yards to Thielen.
What a story.
Yeah.
Wanted one more shot, and he got it, and he's making the most of it.
And I'd consider that a very significant contribution from DK Metcalf running that route as intensely as he did. George Pickens would not have done that.
But look what I'm saying. Throw it to him. That's what I'm saying. Even if he's double covered, he's outrunning dudes. Give him a chance.
Yeah. That's what Troy's saying right now. He had a shot, let it go. Rodgers and gun. He's going to fake to Warren. He's looking short. He's going to throw short, and that's going nowhere to Jonnu.
Take him out of the game. They run this play. They're trying to keep him involved. He doesn't block. Just take him out of the game. Play Freiermuth until the wheels fall off.
I don't even think that was Jonnu's fault, though. What are you supposed to do with that?
Right. What I'm saying,
throw the ball down the field.
This is AJ Brown, Philadelphia, without the drama in the back page of the New York Post. They're trying to keep him involved and keep his confidence up for when his number is called, and it matters with these little and they just don't work because that's all that works.
Second and 11. You lost a yard with Jonnu. Go figure. Rodgers back to pass. He's looking middle. He's pressured. That's just a dirted ball. Probably made a good decision. Hit as he throws by Anderson, though, and getting helped up by Sayamalu here as it's going to bring up 3rd and 11. And they are at the 44-yard line here. So probably need a good 10, 15 yards here to feel good about Boswell giving you the lead.
If you're going to play wide nines and chip wide nines and they're going to be the ones who get home, that means you're not doing a good enough job in the middle because he's got nowhere to go, meaning Rodgers. So the same way we were talking about Black and Hayward bowing up, we need Frazier, Sayamalu, and McCormick to do the same damn thing. Uh-oh.
We got a fumble. The ball is on the dirt. Oh, recovered. Nice job by McCormick. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, look, if you're going to get beat like that, you better go get the – look out! You better go get the ball.
Rodgers is okay. He is up. But that's twice on that series that he was hit. Man, run the damn ball. Max protect and go deep. Who missed the block? Gainwell had a nice – oh, it's Fatanu on the outside again, getting eaten alive.
Yeah, so the same way we're talking about things going bad for Stroud, right? The fumble, interception, try not to talk over the live action. Look, I mean, you talk about cornerbacks have to have the shortest memory, right? Because you can get beat, then you can go make a pick six the very next play. The same thing that we're talking about with Stroud, the momentum-based conversation, you put 300-plus pound dudes on an island against other 300-plus pound dudes who are trying to long-arm you. Like, it's hard to let go when you get beat. And when you see guys doing spin moves, meaning McCormick, when you see 300-plus pound dudes doing spin moves, trying to block dudes with their ass, like, that's all she wrote. And that's why I was saying, like, when you give a little lookout block, you better go get on the ball. Is like right now, Fatanu is having a conversation with himself where he's saying, hit this move to this move, hit this counter to that move. He's talking through himself and playing a little bit robotic as opposed to the really athletic, really free, like rising star at right tackle. You talk about hitting on first round picks. After the injury, everyone was really excited to see how he was going to come back from that. We didn't get the development with Broderick Jones. We got it with Fatanu to the point where you feel good from Frazier on out. You hit on McCormick, value for the pick. Frazier should be competing for All-Pro, and Fatanu could be one of the best right tackles in the whole damn league. Nights like tonight are where Pat Meyer and company have got to sit with the young man down. Don't show him the damn tablet. Don't show him any pictures from the eye in the sky. Just talk to him about what he's done to this point and remind him who he is, who he's been on the path to who we all know and think and believe he can be.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. That sounds like a plan to me. You got to get him right, but I think this is just what happens when you're coming up against edge rushers that are this good. They can move them around. You're looking at two different elite guys. One has 15 sacks, one has 12 sacks on the year. They're pressure leaders. They're top 10 guys. Like, it can become overwhelming. I hope his confidence is not spiraling right now, and I think you absolutely nailed it with how you try to coach through it. Speaking of coaching, New Bear, what would you say about the job Mike Tomlin's doing right now as we sit here? Houston leads Pittsburgh 7-6 with about a minute and a half to go third quarter.
Yeah, well, right now you can't blame him for just being Mike Tomlin and doing what he does and being stubborn and all the things that people love to complain about in the regular season. They called timeouts to try to get it back at the end of the first half. They went for it on fourth down, eschewing the field goal that they ended up ultimately getting. Just a quick point about Fatanu coming back. You might want to think about not chipping for a little bit and see if he can get back in a rhythm being the one-on-one demon that he's been. Sometimes those chips from the wing players throw off your timing, and he might be thinking about that.
Steelers begin their drive at the 23-yard line here. 1st and 10 for Stroud under center. He's going to play action to Marks and go over the middle. And Collins did not catch it.
He's going to be in the blue tent.
Looks like his head is hurt. Did his head hit the ground? Yeah, he hit the ground very hard. He did a header. Nice coverage by Porter. Little handsy comes through him. Oh, yes, and that is no doubt a concussion, dude. That is a massive injury here for the rest of this game.
Independent cardiologist on line one. I thought after Chucky and JPJ sandwiched him early, he looked a little bit off, and that right there, I don't know how you get cleared coming back from that.
Didn't knock him out, but man, he instantly did the "oh my gosh, my head hurts" thing. But dude, yeah, it looks like his feet got a little bit tangled up and for whatever reason his hands did not come forward to break his fall. So dude basically falls on his knees and then does a header into the turf. I'd be surprised if we see him again at 2nd and 10 here. That was a huge play. Hopefully Nico's feeling okay. We got a fumble on the snap. Highsmith dives for it, but Stroud covers it up. Now Highsmith's holding his head. Hopefully that's just because he wanted the ball.
Is that 3?
Yeah, third time Stroud's lost the ball. This was just a shotgun snap. Did it surprise him?
Oh yeah,
he's looking the other way.
Nothing wrong with the snap. The timing of it.
I don't think he was expecting it.
Oh goodness.
Whoop.
That is a lonely ass feeling for a center.
It's a rattled team right there for whatever reason. They have no reason to be rattled. 3rd and 15 now. Stroud in the gun. He's back. He's looking middle. Little bit of pressure, not a lot. And a deep pass. Got his man out there on the right side across midfield. And Christian Kirk is dominating here. Does that put him over 100 yards?
Well, I mean, these are season highs. I think his high coming into tonight was 5 catches and 64 yards. He has 1 touchdown on the season. He's averaging 8.5 yards a catch. And tonight, he looks like 1,000-yard, got paid twice, Christian Kirk.
That's 6 and 104 for 17.3 on 7 targets. Christian Kirk. Didn't this dude play with Johnny Manziel, or did he come after Johnny Manziel? Just 1 year after him, I think. He's been in the NFL forever.
He's turned back the clock tonight. Oh my! He was an unbelievable college player. I mean, he's like 200 plus pounds packed onto 5'10". I mean, he is sturdy. I think he did 20 reps at 225 coming out.
Okay, so a 46-yard pass from C.J. Stroud and Christian Kirk.
He wasn't Manziel. He was your boy, Texas's favorite son, Kyle Allen, into Kyler Murray for a minute before that whole debacle ended. College Mike Tomlin, Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was right after Johnny. He was part of that next recruiting class that Sumlin got. That they they believed were going to keep them rocking and rolling. Houston win percentage right now 68.4% on ESPN. I'll take it. I don't know if it in my body right now. I don't know if I can generate that much confidence, but I'll take 31.6 right now. Man, they had it set up on 3rd and 15 at the Houston 18 to get another stop, to get the ball back. They just need a field goal to go up. The defense is playing well. And C.J. Stroud with a hell of a pass, right as we were talking about how he's looking rattled and his center's hiking him the ball when he's not even expecting it. Man.
Yeah, what was nice, you saw how he climbed the pocket on that one, and what felt really comfortable for him there is he felt like he was in control, and maybe he was going to have to run, and that fight or flight instinct kicks in, and then you just see the arm talent, and there's no doubt that he can sling it, and there's no doubt that he has weapons on the other end. It's not as much of a matter of can you protect him, because he's more mobile than you want to give him credit for, but he wants to be a pocket quarterback. I mean, you go back to, all the really great Ohio State quarterbacks. I mean, if not great on Sunday, but first round pick, Heisman Trophy, national championship contending guys, even the really athletic ones don't run as much as you think when you go back and go through the P's and Q's of their college careers. And CJ Stroud, though, is one of those dudes who that was something that he showed late in his college career and has showed at times, on Sunday as well, that he'll go get that first down, that Elway backbreaker 8 yards on 3rd and 7. And sometimes, when you have that pressure that forces your hand and then you see your color break and you have no choice but to react, it takes care of itself, right? I mean, you're not hitching. You're just letting that ball go like you're in the backyard with your old man.
All righty. Just a reset here for you. Houston 7, Pittsburgh 6. Start of the 4th quarter now. And Houston is going to have it at the 36-yard line here. 1st and 10, Stroud under center. Got a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to Marks again. Up the middle. 3-4 yards. Not too bad. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, that's holding. That's coming back. Cam beat. Oh, yeah. That's great. That's nasty work by Cam.
That's big.
You talk about old man strength. Can't talk about doing anything with your old man without the old man taking center stage. Shout out to second team All-Pro again, right? I mean, about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Aging like few others.
Run it back. Just don't expect me to assume all the age risk. I want you back, but come on, dude. Help the team. Do incentives.
I feel like we just went back to Latrobe.
Okay, 1st and 20. They're going to hand it off to Marks. He goes right side through the B gap. Decent gain of 6 or 7. There goes Collins, dude. He's got a towel over his head. He's riding the truck. He's in bad shape.
Yeah, that sucks.
I think that's that light sensitivity. Once you get concussed, man, it's like the lights just cut through your eyes.
I got my first concussion at 9.
Damn.
And there's nothing like your stomach starts flipping. Oof, I feel bad. Good luck to Nico. Hopefully he can come back stronger than ever.
2nd and 13 from the gun. He's looking left. He's got his man again. And a gain of 10 yards or so. Another one to Kirk for 7. Okay, so we're going to have 3rd and 6.
Yeah, so this is a little cat and mouse right now, right? I mean, the Steelers are showing some different stuff post-snap. They're trying to confuse. They're trying not to just let it end up in these man-to-man, your guy's faster than my guy running away from color. That's tough because you want to see that be a 4 or 5 yard. That stuff adds up, right? Because now it's 3rd and manageable.
All right, 3rd and 6. More motion. Bunch to the right. Stroud back to pass. He's looking left. He overthrew dude or underthrew dude. No flag on Porter once again.
Yeah, and see, that's exactly why you like the non-call on Calvin Austin early, because it's going to let JPJ be JPJ.
Yeah, I mean, Stroud didn't even think. He just liked Higgins, and Porter was right there with him.
That he determined that pre-snap, and that's an awful decision. It's a worse throw than it was a decision to begin with.
51-yard attempt here. Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is going to be good.
Yeah, he's
right down the
solid.
pipe.
He's
as long as
solid.
it's got distance.
He's been a good kicker for a long time.
51-yarder. 10-6 Houston. I need to go grab some water, brother.
BBN always repping. Salute.
Real quick. I shall return. Cold beer's coming up. Here we go.
Just want to say thanks to everybody who's hanging out with us. Little watch party. You know, Dawson and I have just continued to be grateful for everyone who's subbing, watching, commenting, joining. Let's check out what's going on over there. John, who said Master John, who was horrible tonight. Not just calling you out because you're agreeing with me. We need to get some more folks over in the chat chopping it up. The probably the funnest thing about this has just been going through the process of learning how all the different elements of it work or can work or where you can play in these different spaces. So thanks to everyone again for joining us tonight and interacting in all the different ways that you can. We love seeing the back and forth, the memes, the GIFs, the comments, the chats. And we try to get back to everybody on all the shows that we do throughout the week and really appreciate everybody coming back for these past 18 weeks. This is the first one of these that we're doing, like Dawson had said, you know, hopefully setting the stage to do a lot more stuff like this throughout the playoffs and into 2026.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yes. I'm having so much fun in this podcast world. We're coming up on when did we start the Noll Road? Was that like July 1st, end of June?
It was literally the day Minka got traded because we'd been doing some other stuff and we kind of had this thing, you know, ready to rock, but we weren't sure we had the bandwidth to do all the things and trying not to be greedy. And then they traded Minka and I literally screamed, "We're fucking doing this thing."
Yeah, June 30th, 2024. So, I mean, we're just 6 months into this, and it's been an absolute blast. So we're very much looking forward to draft coverage and free agent coverage. And, you know, we do the Steelers show here. We also have a Cowboys podcast as well. And we look forward to covering both those teams with you or for you throughout the offseason and into training camp. All right, we're back on the telecast. What an incredible game, like 10-6, but it doesn't feel boring, does it? It's not like last night's Chargers-Patriots game. Am I hallucinating?
You know, when we were talking about the Week 18 game, you know, you start seeing some of those big hits, and it feels like the rivalry used to, and there's just fight on both sides. You could argue that there's some sloppy play. You know, you don't ever want to see 3 missed snaps for the Texans, and you certainly don't want to see your 42-year-old quarterback on his ass. But at the same time, that happens because the other guys are really bleeping good too, and they're competing their John Brown hind parts off, right? I mean, outside of the one DK whiff, it's been pretty damn good effort on both sides across the line.
Yeah, it's been a nice job. You know, I don't think anybody expected to come into this game and go put 400 yards of offense up or anything like that. Some things could go your way a little bit better, and this is what they've been talking about. Why you got Aaron Rodgers, you know, and we're justifying being bad for 3 quarters and then lighting it up in the 4th quarter. Let's see it one more time. There's a really creative handoff, and they get Gainwell for 12, 13 yards off the left side. First down, Steelers. What was that play?
Sorry, I had a glitch in my everything on me moved either back or forward. I'm trying to catch it here on the replay.
It was like a fake pitch to the right. Gainwell comes in from the left and takes it and pulls a 180, goes back out. I don't know if I've seen that play. All right, we got DK in motion here. 1st and 10, Steelers at their own 45-yard line, 12:26 to go. This is the drive right here. Now it's static. 3 wide to the right. Rodgers going deep to the left. Austin, did he haul it in? No. He did?
No way.
Yeah, ball hit the ground.
That's an Academy Award effort, though. I always love dudes. Like, you got to pop up and act like you caught it because you never know if the camera caught an angle of it, you know? And if they rule it a catch on the field, it would stand. But that's hilarious.
Why is it not happening with Metcalf or Valdez-Scantling, though? That's the second time tonight, though, where his lack of size has been a massive factor. Like if you're going to go deep to Calvin Austin, you got to put it way beyond everybody and let him outrun his dude. Otherwise, going up for 50-50 stuff. I guess the back shoulders worked a couple of times when he can get a little bit of separation. There's another handoff, but snuff or loss of 3 or 4 on second down.
If you're being 1,000,000% honest, both of the balls to Austin were underthrown. That one worse than the first one. I think, Aaron, it's got to be one of those things where, if you're long, you're never wrong with the little guy.
Yeah.
He's just so used to, you talk about muscle memory and the cold playing into it as well. Ball doesn't travel as far, with what that weather's like outside right now. And let me tell you, Dawson, it is gnarly in Pittsburgh. But
it's 3rd and 12 here. Rodgers from gun. It's empty. We're passing again, of course. Oh, he's going to go down. Dylan Cook. Oh, and we got a fumble.
Oh, goodness. No!
And Sheldon Rankins just scored a touchdown. The ball wasn't down? The ball had to have been down at some point.
Oh, God.
That's 16-6. No. That might, man, it's tough to imagine if this stands. Show me a damn replay. How did nobody? Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness. It's what you get for going empty against this team. Look at that. Cook just cooked. 2 guys got to Rodgers at the same time. And, yep, there's no way that ball was down. Oh, another meme for Rodgers, too. His helmet. It's good. 17-6. How you feeling right now, buddy?
I'm just trying to buddy. I'm seeing the replay on the big screen now, and I'm actually cheating a little bit because I want another look at it. So I didn't think this could be true, but I mean, I think Isaac Seumalo might be washed. And, I hate to say that. I know he's had some injuries this year, but I mean, he just got straight run through. You can talk about the pressure coming around the edge and Dylan Cook getting beat, but you see it.
Oh.
This is not, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that looked like secondary pressure live when I was watching it, but that's the full meal right there.
Oh, my goodness.
He just gets dump trucked, and then his guy picks it up and runs it in.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, well, okay, so when you said this is the drive, I thought you were going to maybe punctuate that by saying where they score and they take back control, and unfortunately the exact opposite happened, and gut punch, right? Levels of losing. Shout out Bill Simmons.
Okay, I mean, this comes down to how much you believe in Aaron Rodgers, though, doesn't it? Do you believe he can go get you 2 touchdowns or a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal?
Well, the NFL scriptwriters surely do. And, here we are, Roger Goodell, Executive Creative Director of Copy, New York City office. Oh, here we're going to get the D'Amico Ryans highlight. Here it comes. I got one feed that's a little bit ahead of the other one. Brutal. What a player D'Amico Ryans was, man.
Yeah, he was fantastic, man. Great coach.
All right, well, let's get the energy back up, right? Because Tutty to Chris Boswell overtime. 2 tutties, walk-off win.
1st and 10 here to start this drive from the 33-yard line. Let's see another miracle here for Aaron Rodgers. This is why you got him. He's back to pass. He's throwing deep. And Freiermuth in damn near triple coverage by the time that ball arrived incomplete.
Yeah, so we gotta just settle the bleep down, because you're talking about 2, maybe even 3 possessions, right? Which means you got to score on both of them, or 2 out of 3, because he's going to go into ground and pound mode and try to shrink this thing.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about getting stops. I think they've done a pretty dang good job getting a handle on the run, much better here. Their second down snap, Rodgers in the gun, looking over the middle. And he's got Jalen Warren for about 5 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 5. We can do that.
My point being, you don't need to get it all on one play. Death by 1,000 paper cuts can quickly become victory by 1,000 paper cuts.
Ooh, hurry up. Oh, big man catch from Freiermuth.
Right. Put it 6'6" eats, man.
Yeah.
And
how about more balls to that dude? I guess it's the fourth quarter. We can start throwing to Pat again.
I mean, Ben's on the Manning cast right now, just nodding along. He knows, because this is what Ben used to do. That's a different version of a bleep you ball.
Oh,
Look, you know how hard I am on Penn State. Freiermuth's like the only dude from Penn State that's a dog.
Houston had a 12-man on the field penalty on that one as well. That's declined. I guess he was probably running off at the last second.
Well, that's why Rogers said, bleep you. I'm going to do this because even if it gets picked off, it doesn't matter.
Oh, there you go. See, that's why you're here. My favorite football Neanderthal, New Bear, the all-academic SEC lineman of Kentucky. I'm Gavin Dawson. Aaron Rodgers in the gun. 1st and 10 from the Houston 45. He's got a scramble. Did he lose the ball again? No, he didn't. He hung on to it. Bro, this is too much pressure.
Samalu got it, maybe changed his cleats out, so he looks like he figured it out. But it's just they're taking turns right now. They're on a merry-go-round of lookout blocks.
What did Rodgers just trip? Oh God! See, that's what no. Don't yell at the refs, bro. You're old and you had your Achilles repaired. Okay, it's 2nd and 13 now. Back at the 48-yard line here of Houston. Does a nice job evading pressure, rolls left, throws a dart, incomplete, intended for Metcalf. That's going to bring up.
Yeah, so we need perk Rodgers, not pissed Rodgers, right? We need him to CTFD a little bit right here. Again, the mobility. I mean, he has enough to get the job done. What they don't need to do is be an empty throwing it on literally every play for the last 11 of this game.
They gave up on the run way too early. Good protection here on 3rd down. Oh, broke down at the end. Ball batted down.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this one of those things where you try to get half of it because you're going to go for it on 4th down? And, unfortunately, that might have to be, especially now, I'm not saying literally on this 4th and 13, but you pin them deep here and you get it back, it's probably 4-down territory the rest of the way. There can be no surrender punts from Mike Tomlin tonight.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. And the thing that sucks is next time you get the ball back, you probably can't run because you can't afford to keep the clock moving. Like they've man, I hate Arthur Smith.
If you go no huddle and you gash them, right? But then now we're talking about shotgun runs because if you're under center, they're not going to buy the traditional play action per se. You would think a D'Amico Ryan's coach team would be drop and then go get Gainwell or Warren, just like you talk about pass rushers stopping the run on the way to the quarterback, right? You opposite way, right? You get your depth. Don't let anything threaten you. If you give up even a 7, 8, 9 yard run, like you said, the clock's going to run. But if you can go hurry up and get a couple of those gash runs, those really nice, jump cut Jalen Warren specials where you make one dude miss, and they're capable of it.
Just because you've run it 8 times for 24 yards doesn't mean you're going to run it 10 times for 30 yards. It doesn't mean 15 is going to be 45. You get a couple of 20, 30-yard pops in there, and now everything changes, and you're not allowing them to now, get pressure with 4. That's what you're seeing from Houston. They blitz the fewest in the league because they have confidence in their guys, but you need to keep their guys off balance by running the ball. And what we saw against Baltimore was them break out offensively in the second half once their offense became balanced, and they did it stubbornly. They were maybe getting more success than they were here in this situation, but I'm not even trying to run it for a first down. I just want to run it to keep them anticipating run.
Well, and to keep them from teeing off because you're in empty and Aaron Rodgers is not a threat to run quarterback draw, right? Like the formational stuff and why I was so adamant about Houston staying under center to get Stroud back on the path and how play action works off of that when your running game is going, it also works against you formationally when you're empty, particularly when it's not truly 5 wide receivers, even though Freiermuth can function like one. I'm talking about when you have, Gainwell out wide, they're not respecting him and treating him the same way, even though he's made plays. Typically teams only run certain route tree progressions. You're going to get smash. You're going to get, the different pet routes that these guys have run all season. And now all of a sudden, if some of those rail routes and things came into play, they're backed off anyway.
All right, we're back in the telecast here as the Texans now lead the Steelers 17-6 at Acrisure, 9:30 to play fourth quarter. A fumble 6 from Sheldon Rankins, putting the Texans up 2 scores a couple of drives ago. And now Houston gets the ball back, 1st and 10, an absolute must-shut-down series here for the Steelers. At the very least, get the ball back with 6 minutes to play or something is what they need. I mean, I guess they could give up a first down or 2. They give up 2 yards here on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, the thing about giving up even 1 or 2, though, is not even just the time. It's the confidence of if you go 3 and out and score, now the pressure's back on C.J. Stroud, who's really struggled to stay composed tonight.
And Rankins is still reliving and reacting, a dramatic reenactment of his fumble 6.
I'm about to lose my bleeping mind. Like, are they really that? Are they off, or did I just not see that right? The way it's loading in my stream, like they need to be playing press. And if you get beat, if CJ Stroud has the balls to throw a go ball to a rookie wide receiver, and they have 2 of them right now, so be it. They have got to be. Joey Porter Jr. needs to be committing violent misdemeanors right now. There can be no off coverage.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. Completion to Higgins for about 9 yards. First down, Houston, 8:20 to play. 17-6, Texans lead it. Stroud back under center. This has got to be a run, right?
100%. Well, and you're just going to lean on him with one of the best to ever do it. There was a time when Nick Chubb wasn't just all pro. I mean, he was a future gold jacket guy. He was literally leading in NFL history, even over Jim Brown, yards per carry. And that was with the college knee injury, the one early. Minka, unfortunately, you go back through some of the hip drop tackle stuff. He's just had so much, but he's still capable of doing this right now. This is like that Jerome Bettis role in the Super Bowl.
Nick Chubb got 2 yards there on first down, 2nd and 8, 7:30 to play now. We got to get a stop here from the Houston 26. Stroud under center, man in motion. And it's back to Chubb for 4 yards.
Something to note, Stroud left about 4 seconds on the clock again. That all that stuff adds up at the end of the game when you start talking about 2-minute time. He's not literally taking it all the way down, maybe not risking, those 5 yards that would keep you from taking another 2 minutes plus off.
It's the money down here, 3rd and 4. 7 minutes to go. This is feeling like an early last stand opportunity.
Fuck.
Oh, you're ahead. Did you just spoil it?
No, I just saw the route. I thought we were on the same exact.
Boom. Oh, no. Christian Kirk.
I guess I am. I apologize.
Gains 30 yards.
I reset the app, and it put me ahead of you. My bad.
Dawson, right. Let me reset the app as well so I can try to catch back up with you. Dawson and New Bear here as that's a back-breaking play, isn't it? What are you seeing?
Yeah, when I saw the matchup, I said, I hope Eccles is coming. And then I went, nope, it's man across the board. Like, this is a foot race, and Christian Kirk is having a day. It's a turn back the clock night he's a still young man. It's his age 29 season. And now you're going to get, baby Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, a little run here on first down for 2 yards. Marks is in now. Okay, so you hold them to a field goal here. You make it 20-6. You get the ball back, and you can go score in a couple of minutes and punt it. You still got all 3 timeouts, unless they go on a crazy timeout binge like they did against the Ravens. They'll be all right there. But it's got to be a stop now, or I can't come up with any more scenarios for us. All righty, from the 35, Chubb going up the middle here. And he gained about 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 3. Can we get up on the line of scrimmage and smash somebody in the face and not let them get free releases past the sticks?
And if I'm looking at this right, that's a career high for Christian Kirk tonight. I mean, career high.
Damn. What's he over, 150 yards?
Is he at 144, I think? I'm just trying to find things now to get ahead of bitch moaning and complain about, because I'm about to take a long walk off a short pier where I'm just like,
I'm taking the bait. Oh, no, there it is on 3rd down, a run of 6-7 yards for Chubb. Flag on the play. Oh.
Stroud thinks it's on the black and gold.
Steelers. 1st down, 4:30 to play. They've taken 3.5 minutes of clock, 4 minutes of clock, gotten 3 or 4 first downs, leaving no doubt. Have come into Acrisure, and they're heading for the victory, buddy. I'm in capitulation mode.
Look, some of this stuff that he's done tonight, he's having a night, right? They're scheming him up. They've used him horizontal and vertical stretch. He's run the whole route tree. Hats off to a very professional wide receiver.
They get Chubb down for a loss of 1 on 1st down.
If you're Tomlin, you might even think about going timeouts now if you're going to have to score an onside kick, and just to do, depending on what happens, here, if it ends up being in a 3rd and long situation, you try to force them to throw it where they might throw it incomplete. If they get risky and they don't just throw a little screen or a check down, and you can maybe steal 40 seconds back. I'm just trying to come up with things that could, put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hand twice without it having to come down to an onside kick. And it looks like we're just about past that.
It's going to bring up another 3rd and 4 or so here. Oh, there's a flag. It's going to stop the clock at least. What's the call here on this flag? $30 carries for 151 now from Houston.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to see between our 2 guys, right? Oh, that's it right there.
Face mask on the defense.
Yeah,
Herbig.
Well, I mean, Herbig's probably pissed that he finally got to get in the game, so he gave him a little bit extra. That'll probably be something we have to really look at, from some of the snap count perspectives and all those things. The narratives are going to write themselves at the end of this one.
If you're not going to play Herbig more than that they have since Highsmith came back, they should trade Herbig, because I think there's a lot of pass rush needy teams out there that would give up something for him.
Yeah, well, as age, you talk about the success in a small sample size. You just need one team to believe that he can extrapolate that if he becomes an every down guy. And I'm not saying there's a king's ransom like, TJ Watt level even last year, before everything that transpired in 2025. But, to your point, we're going to go into this offseason talking about what the 2026 Steelers need to return to that truly elite level. And it's not just one thing.
Okay, they're talking about Mike Tomlin now on the telecast. It's a good opportunity for us to do the same. Texans 1st and goal, 3:43 to go. They're up 17-6 here. It's Dawson and Newbear, the Noll Road watch party. And we want to thank you so much for riding along with us and watching this game. Marks is going to run it in here. It's going to make it 24-6. And you're looking at another blowout. I think the Steelers in this 6-game playoff losing streak, they've given up 38 points. So tonight's an improvement on that, 38.3 points per game. Have they lost on average by 21, though? And this is looking pretty close to that. They're going to go down 18 points here. Let me ask you this. Is this season a success, number one? Leave a chat down below. Tell us what you think. But, Newbear, this doesn't hurt Tomlin much, does it? Just to build off what the telecast was saying, I just don't get the feeling that this game is on Tomlin that much, unless you want to ding him a lot for, just never being able to evolve this offense enough, or figuring out a way to move the ball a little bit more consistently against Houston. I mean,
well, I'm going to tell you that you just let the 5th leading receiver and a guy who was averaging 8.5 yards a catch coming into this game on the season, and who was 5th on the team, behind two rookies, a check down tight end, another guy you wouldn't pick out of a lineup, and Nico Collins. And Nico Collins knocked himself out of the game. There's going to be a lot of chatter. I think you might want to turn up the volume on your TVs depending on how ugly this last drive or two gets, because 24-6, and you can say, yeah, it was 17-6, and you just needed that one stop, and you still had belief because you had 8. You could say that it was 10-6, and it was really a game. But now you're looking at this thing and saying,
get away from you.
How far away are you really, though? Because if it's not on Tomlin and everything that I teased about what Christian Kirk has done tonight, with all the reasons, that shouldn't be the thing that dictated this game while CJ Stroud was decomposing on live TV. At the very least, if you're not talking about, hashtag fire Tomlin making the rounds again, you are for damn sure talking about how Artie Smith cannot be a part of 2026.
Yeah, for sure. Get a real wide receiver too. I mean, we talked about this almost immediately in July and Terry McLaurin during training camp, and they didn't want to do that. They obviously could have used an upgrade at left tackle, and we hollered about that. But
let's not totally run off. Dylan Cook stepped in and stepped up. He had a hell of a season. You at the very least have him as a depth piece. You got a big decision to make on Broderick Jones and the 5th-year option and what you believe that young man can still level up to be. There's a lot to talk about now as we go in and start talking about post game and recapping this thing. I definitely didn't expect it to be. And I can't even say one-sided, because you can pick nits with 2 of the 3 phases in this game. And if you really want to be a dick, you can talk about the shitty punt before that drive too. I mean, it depends on how far, you want to go down this rabbit hole.
So are you going to add this game to the list of embarrassments that go up there with Jacksonville and Cleveland?
So is this as bad as giving up 45 to Blake Bortles when Ben throws for 469 and 5? No. Is this as bad as being in a place where your former guys are going out talking on their podcasts about how you were never going to beat Tom Brady? So, this leader of men has, guys who wore the black and gold talking about how, the Killer Bees didn't underachieve because of Brady, and all the excuses that have been made by everyone under the sun, including guys who put on the helmets and shoulder pads. This is embarrassing because the optics on this are terrible, right? TJ Watt, washed. That's the narrative, right? Aaron Rodgers, what more could he possibly do? Another year older. Like, now all of a sudden, all the negativity that builds into every single one of these things is like, what quarterback do you truly believe in this draft? Are we going to get to see Will Howard at some point? Like, pick a lane, whatever branch on the tree that you want to go dangle on. It just depends on how many drinks you've had tonight.
Yeah, it looked like that married couple in the stands had a few drinks. They were arguing as a result of this. 3rd and 10, they're going to make it 4.
Well, because they're debating if they're going to start the damn chant.
Yeah. And I don't think I would be doing that for this game. I mean, you have given up 400 yards. If the Texans get the ball back, I imagine they're just going to kneel on it, and you let them do that because I don't think you want to fight it very much anymore. But 24-6 is starting to look pretty bad. You got 10 of 15 third down conversions. Like, for where it was late in the third quarter, this thing really got away from them once you had that Sheldon Rankins fumble 6, and now an interception by Rodgers. Oh, it's going to go 31. It's going to go 31-6 as Kalen Bullock, the free safety, picks off Rodgers and takes it back to the house. Maybe I'm going to end up eating my words here. This is ugly now.
You were talking about taking a knee for Houston. I think it's time to get 8 out of the game. I think it's time to have Mason Rudolph come in and if I'm, buddy, I'm like, like people who talk a lot, people who are loud, people life of the party, have a few beers, you can't shut them up. I'm one of those guys. Hell, you leave me in a room long enough by myself, I'll just talk to the walls. I'm really mad when I'm quiet, and I'm just like simmering right now. Where I just hear Kirk Herbstreit talking about where's the fight. I hear why does it take till you're basically past the point of no return to start forcing the ball, to places where, you should have been taking shots the whole time. Why does it take? And maybe you really and truly believe in the cover 3, even though you don't have cover 3 corners, you have one. Maybe you believe in the cover 3 and TJ Watt and company getting home and your guys just being better than everyone else. But if that's the case and Arthur Smith's your offensive coordinator, you needed to do exactly what the Houston Texans did tonight while their quarterback was struggling. You needed to do exactly what teams who win games like this do when they find a way is you take your shots when you're one-on-one and you got guys who are faster than the other guys or bigger than the other guys or both. Where was the shot to DK after the one he dropped, after they opened the game exclusively featuring him? And where was the two-headed monster of your team MVP? Where was Kenneth Gainwell tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be tough to get your running backs involved, but I absolutely thought there was a chance, and DK Metcalf proved that early in the game. I don't know why they would go away from to that extent. Let's turn the page here. The point after was Miz. It's 30-6. When you're looking at next year, veteran coach and Tomlin, team option for 27, assuming they either pick that up and he's back or they don't pick it up and he stays back. I think if Tomlin is back, it's tough to imagine them rebuilding with a young team. I think if you are the Rooneys or Khan and you want to start a rebuild with this team and get a new quarterback and maybe let Cam Hayward go and consider some of the other long in the tooth veterans that you have, either trading them or releasing them or whatever it is, like you would need a new coach, I think, to do that. So I think, that 2027 deadline decision is due like March 2nd or March 3rd. And assuming Tomlin is back, I guess at this point, I expect that he will be back after winning 4 out of the last 5. It comes down to, do you want a new nose tackle? Do you want do you want a stronger nose tackle? Can you find a middle linebacker who can be more of a thumper? And then can you find, better wide receiver or 2? The point I'm making is I don't think they're that far off. Right. They have the foundation of what could be a pretty good team as long as Father Time doesn't whoop their ass too much in the offseason and they get too old. So I could find myself believing in next year. You weren't the better team today, and that was pretty obvious for about 10, 15 minutes into the game.
I'm sitting here thinking about the Over the Hill gang and George Allen and trying to talk myself into some semblance of. And then I just see Jaylen Warren get the ball, and I'm like, why did we pay him if we weren't going to feature him? Why did we invest these 3, 2 first rounders and a high 2 in Frazier, hit on McCormick, go get Sam, and we're not gonna. If any team like this in any game like this was going to go bang their heads on a wall and win a rock fight, it was tonight. And
Rodgers is pissed. Do you think he wants to come back?
Oh, Rodgers wanted to finish the game. I'm sure. I'm sure he didn't want it. He doesn't want his last throw to be a pick 6, dude. There's no fucking way. 66,000 whatever yards, 537 touchdowns, and it's going to end on a pick 6. Remember, that's how it ended for Brady in New England. But then Brady had, the rebirth with no risk it, no biscuit in Tampa, and there was still something out there for Rodgers. I mean, if that's the last throw on tape, I'll say it again. He was moving pretty damn well tonight. He's still got all the arm talent in the world, but do we really think there's going to be another taker, meaning another team after what we saw in New York? Because here's the problem. You bring Aaron Rodgers, he's bringing as many of his friends as he can. And that's why we don't know what Roman Wilson is. And that's a problem for 2026.
Yeah, I think, and that's the perfect intersection of where the conversation has to be, is like, I think I'd like to have Rodgers back, even if you draft a quarterback, like let's say you take Chambliss or you take Ty Simpson or a different quarterback that maybe isn't on the radar right now, emerges into a late first round pick type of quarterback. I still want a bridge, and Aaron Rodgers should be that bridge. And then you go into next year thinking, do we want to go young or do we want to stay with the old guy? I guess it would depend on
27, right? Bridge. 26, run it back, Over the Hill gang, 27, you're talking about Will Howard versus whoever you draft. My problem with that is like this team, you have to believe in 2026 being close enough to go as all in as Pittsburgh Steelers will ever go. I think what we learned this year is how you put it. What's the difference between win now and all in? This is a win now team as long as Mike Tomlin is the coach. In order for Aaron Rodgers to come back, you got to go all in, which means you can't fuck around with a first-round developmental quarterback for 2027 and beyond. You got to go get another Derek Harmon.
Yeah, and you have to bring in an offensive coordinator that is very competent and can inspire confidence from Aaron Rodgers without letting Rodgers get his way on everything.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I CIDP in the chat. I really don't care how you shake it. If Arthur Smith isn't fired tonight, I don't know what the hell we are doing.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this offense was its best throughout this season consistently when they could run the ball, and when they went to just passing it, it was predictably bad. And against a team with the pass rushers and the corners like you have today, the only way you're going to find consistent success would be running the ball and play action.
Clayton Adams in Dallas doesn't call the plays. Shoddy does. I would be totally fine if Artie Smith was a whiteboard guy. His scheme is interesting, and he does cool things with it with different personnel groupings. But it can't all just be Aaron Rodgers changing the play, because they didn't let Russ do it last year. So it can't just be 1 year the quarterback's not allowed to change the play, and if he does, we're gonna neuter him. And then the next year, well, it's Aaron Rodgers, he just changes the plays. If one or both of those things are true, Artie Smith is the problem. You see, he's the glue.
I agree with you 100%, man. And it's tough to watch. It's hard to gauge the facial expressions on a guy when he's in this kind of situation. Like, is he going to shut it down after this? Is this a guy that's feeling like, I've had enough, get me out of here? There was just so much love between Rodgers and Tomlin throughout the year, and I think Rodgers loves what being a Steeler is and what it represents.
Did we just throw a fucking bubble screen to Calvin Austin on 4th and 2 and get stopped?
I think they got it.
They just gave it to him.
It was a mercy first down.
What the fucking fuck?
Hey, man, they've been pretty good on 4th down tonight. I think that's 2 or 3 now.
2.3 yards to carry, but 2 out of 3 on. Oh, here we go. There we go.
He's going to end up popping a couple of big runs and making this look actually decent and make us even more frustrated. What is he? He's 11 for 44 yards now.
See, and this is the problem, dude. Like, I know everyone did not like my comments about Caleb Johnson, particularly after he screwed up the kick return. He'd never been a kick returner. Go back to that. And then also let's go back to another dude we don't know nothing about. So your last 2 third-round picks, both on what you need most offense. One of them a 6'1", 220, 225-pound wrecking ball. The other one, a guy who literally averaged a touchdown every 3 catches on the national championship college team. Just they can't even get on the field. 3 years of service combined. We know nothing about them. This is ugly, dude.
It is ugly. It's 30-6. Thank you guys so much for being with us here on our maiden watch along voyage. Had a lot of fun. Learned a lot about what it takes to interact with you guys here during a live NFL game. Look forward to doing it a lot more next year. No matter what this roster looks like, we'll be locked and loaded whenever possible and going through these watch alongs with you. We're going to go watch the press conferences, see what Rodgers and Hayward and Watt and everybody has to say about what comes next. So closing thoughts, buddy, on this this watch along and the Steelers being out of the playoffs.
I short of apologizing for the end of the watch along turning into the beginning of our next show, I'm really excited to get back into the closing pod, for the 2025 season. I want to say, that I can't believe it ended like this, but this is how it's ended since 2016. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that option. And at the same time, you're 10-7, and you could have been anywhere from, realistically, this could have been a 6 or 7 win team, and they could have been the 1 seed. Like, that's how bonkers and how close and how thin the margin is on Sunday. And so you want to talk George Hill over the Hill gang? I would love to build that roster and talk about what that looks like. You want to nuke this thing and talk about not tanking, but youth movement and seeing if Mike Tomlin really is what everybody has thought he's been with these non-losing seasons. let's do it with the future in mind at the same time. So I can't wait for the next one and the one after that and the run up to the draft. See you in my house 3 miles west of the stadium as the crow flies.
I love it. Okay. We'll be with you long form 4 times a week, at least throughout the offseason. Very excited about getting a look at these college players and evaluating the draft and free agency. A lot of stuff and developments will be happening between now and then. And as always, we'll see you here on the Noll Road.